name is Lance McWhorter. I'm the executive chef and owner of Culture ETX on the Square in downtown Tyler, Texas. My first experiences with Cochon were with a couple of different chefs that I worked for in the Dallas area, and they were participants in the Cochon555 series, and so I got to kind of help them out with some of the prep for the competition. Really cool to kind of be exposed to that the usage of these heritage animals. It was the first experience that I ever had working directly with farmers and having them bring in these just beautiful animals that, I'd never seen pork like that before. It was just, it was remarkable. The color, the marbling, the fat content, the flavor in them was just insane. When I had the opportunity to compete in the 2020 Dallas stop of Cochon555, I had to prepare 6 different dishes using all different parts of the pig. We had to use everything from offal to the head, everything. The only thing that I didn't use in any of my dishes was the blood. And I love using blood in dishes, but I just thought that for this one event, when we were serving so many different people, that that might be one little bit that some people are a little squeamish about, but just FYI, people, eat the blood, it's good. One of the dishes that I made for Cochon is kind of a spin-off of a dish that I do at the restaurant. It's just my heritage pork chop. It's just a bone-in, beautiful heritage pork chop married with just some simple, bold flavors. The marbling of these things is amazing. They're almost like steak, and the flavor of them is just incredible. So I just pan sear them. Good canola oil, something like that in a pan. It's gonna be fine. Get your pan nice and hot, and then add in the oil and bring it up till it starts shimmering, just right underneath its smoke point. And then, just salt and pepper. That's it. That's literally it on the pork chop. Everybody's like, oh, what's your rub? Or what's, there's no rub. It's salt and pepper and heat, and that's it. It's a really traditional method of just simple cooking meat. It's about the heat and the crust, really. It's building that good crust on the outside of it. It's so much easier to control that heat, Maillard reaction as it colors, gets all those good deep browns and dark colors on the meat as it caramelizes on the surface. And it's just, I think it's handling the pork in a much more accurate and respectful way. Finished with a little bit of brown butter, garlic, fresh thyme, baste it a little bit. And in the oven it goes. We just cook the chop to, I like pulling mine off in between about, 138-ish is about perfect, back there towards the bone. Before it ever hits the plate, it's gonna rest, a good 5 or 6 minutes, depending on the thickness of the chop. So it's gonna keep cooking and it's gonna keep carrying over. And you're gonna have that nice, perfect medium. And when you're using this good quality pork, you could serve this stuff straight up mid-rare like a steak. Probably the safest meat you could ever eat in the world. It's a lot of people worried about a little bit of pink. No, it's fine. A little bit of pink in there is just fine. Nothing to worry about. Just preserve that flavor, preserve that texture. The way that I plated it up, I just really wanted to kind of pay homage to the way that I saw these pigs when I went out and visited Chubby Dog Farm for the first time. To see this earth, which is like this, reddish, tan, sandy ground, and then, the pigs just running around and happily playing around and running underneath the underbrush. This thick green kind of canopy of trees and, pines and pecans and maples and all sorts of green just everywhere. And it was just super beautiful and natural. You start living out in the kind of more of the rural areas, and you see how pigs survive. That's their natural environment, to be in those wooded areas. They just enjoy it and they thrive in there and they're super happy. Happy meat tastes better. I've told you guys about how I plated it to represent the way that the pigs lived on the farm, and their kind of happy meat tastes better life out there. So I wanted the plate to kind of mirror that, It's like I've got this green plate with this red harissa paste on the bottom, which is like this really just bold and a little bit spicy. It's a North African red pepper paste. And then the pork chop, charred onions, and these, gorgeous baby red frill mustard greens on top of it that are just real simply dressed in Texas olive oil from South Texas, lemon juice, salt, pepper, and then I sprinkle a little bit of fennel pollen on top of it. From top to bottom, it's just this kind of flavor bomb, but at the same time, it really represents the way that I saw these pigs living, you know? So it's kind of a story on a plate. And I think that that's important, and I think that's something that you do get when you go to a more fine dining oriented place. You get a little bit of art in with your food, and I think you get a little more thought into how a dish comes together. I mean, it's like you could say it's a pork chop, but why can't it be more than a pork chop? You know, why can't it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of flavor and be visually pleasing?